you check the children? Your little mess
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Parker.
Here to talk more kids stuff. And why talk about kids stuff with Marcia? No reason in particular. But other than the fact that she is a big fan of this show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? So much so that she used to cover the original series on her podcast, The Latchkey Kids.
Yes.
And unfortunately that stopped before we were able to complete it, but we got a little bit of a gift in 2019 in a brand new 3-episode Are You Afraid of the Dark series. So, Marcia, I am dying to get your opinion on this because I know how much you love it, so go ahead. Why don't you go first on this one?
So I was a little nervous because it is different from what the series was. It was 3 episodes of the same story instead of an anthology series. So I was like, oh, how are they going to do this? But I was really excited. They did a fantastic job. The storyline fit. You got a lot of nods to the actual series itself. And it was campy without being campy, which was really fun. It was really well made, great acting in it. So I couldn't have asked anything more of this series, except for I wish there was more of it.
I tend to agree with you, honestly. I didn't watch all of the original like you did. I watched an episode here and there, you know. But having sat down for this one, what was really nice is they did update it in an interesting way. Like, I don't know if this was ever the case, but to me in the old ones, it was just a group of kids got together and then one would tell a story for the episode and then that would be the episode, right? And we'd see what would happen in the story. What's nice and different about this one is it tells the story of those kids that gather up together. Not really how they became a club, but there's a new girl that shows up in town and she really likes horror and she meets up with young Ben Hanscom from the new It movies.
Correct. And
he is like, he's enamored with her because she likes horror. She's dropping all these little horror things. And he's like, okay, you know, and so the group anonymously invites her to come to this spot and tell a story to see if she's worthy of joining the group. She, interestingly enough, has been recently having nightmares about this circus ringmaster in a top hat, and so she writes a story around that, tells the story, and everyone enjoys it. It's a fun little story,
it is, yeah.
And that's almost how the first episode ends. And so she gets in, but then what ends up happening is suddenly a carnival rolls into town, and it's being led by the very same man in the top hat in their world, not within the story like normally in the old show.
Right.
And so the next 2 episodes, things start to happen and kids start to disappear within the carnival, and so the Midnight Society has to figure out what's going on and how to stop it.
Right.
And I thought it was such a wonderful extension of what they had set up in the original anthology series. And honestly, it works in and of itself as a series that can tackle new storylines on a regular basis, even if it is like 3-episode arcs in like a 12-episode season or something. I still think that's cool and new and different. And if they're done as high quality as this, I think there's nothing else that we can ask for, really. Yeah.
I mean, it really does also it's a Canadian show, and but at the same time, like, you're thinking about all the new series that are coming out, like especially from the BBC, where it's like the 3 episodes at an hour and a half each, and it gives a complete story. And I think it works, especially for a format like this. Like, I don't mind it. It's the right amount of attention for me, as a person who watches a lot of things, that I can just commit to doing 3 episodes and being happy, and then hopefully maybe something else will come out down the line. So I was excited about that. But yeah, the extra detail of adding the backstory of the, you know, storytellers and being able to create that overarching theme that allows them to have the 3 united episodes. I thought they did a fantastic job with it. I didn't mind it. I actually, as one of us would say on this show, I actually appreciated the turn of the wheel or whatever he said. I still probably did it wrong, but I did, didn't I?
A little bit. It's okay.
But yeah, so it was cool because it gave new fans something to look forward to, and it gave the old fans something to be appreciative of. Because like when you do go through the old stories, you're like, yeah, this is geared for 1990s me, not 2020 me.
But how great for those that are our age that already have kids old enough to watch something like this. How fun would that be? Because you're both enjoying it on two, different levels.
Yeah.
And similar levels at the same time, I feel like the person that made this show was a big fan of the show and watched it as a kid.
And appreciated
It's like one
it,
of us.
yeah.
It was like, okay, how can we make this a little bit deeper, make it a little bit cooler?
And refreshing it for the next generation, which
Right.
I did watch this with my son. He's 2, and probably a little bit older for him, but at the same time, we got to snuggle on the couch and watch something that was still appropriate. Like it was something that he can watch and not have nightmares about. So it was fun, and I did enjoy that. And I love the opening scene because it actually winked to. It wasn't completely like the original in the series, but it did wink to like the swings and the door and obviously it's the same soundtrack. So I'm like, yeah, it got me pumped for just like digging into it. But yeah, this kind of goes in line with the Scary Stories. So Scary Stories remake or not remake, but just like the movie for the stories was a great way to tap back into your childhood while sharing that love with your children, and I'm glad that they were able to accomplish that with this one too.
Now let's talk about the acting briefly. I think the kids were all great. The adults that were in it were great. I just enjoyed everyone in the movie or in the series. Like there wasn't really a weak link I could point to. They really did a good job with the casting on this.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of chemistry, not just with the children, but even with like the carnival people and the adults. Like, don't get me wrong, there was some campy scenes in there,
Sure.
but they were purposeful and done well, if that makes sense. So like you're like. Which is a nod to the show because the show was extremely campy. So every time you had those like really like eye-rolling lines, you're still like, yeah, okay, I like it though because it reminds me of what I grew up with. So
And there had to be, I would have to assume that there was a healthy jump in effects.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
the effects in this were all great. There
It
was
was
nothing
amazing.
that was bad at all. I mean,
Yeah.
this again, it feels like anything, it just feels like a young Supernatural and stuff like that. Like it belongs amongst the other shows that are made nowadays as far as quality. So, effects wise, everything worked for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they did a fantastic job, especially with the scorpions. That was really cool. Everything that the ringmaster was doing was amazing, and then they even had like the little mechanical like zombies and stuff that were actually supposed to be robots, but you like didn't realize they were robots. So and it wasn't super gory because again it is a children's story, but it still had a lot of suspense, and I can see if I was 10 years old I'd be like super digging it and loving it. So I really hope that everybody else loved it as much as we did because I want to see more things like this to come out, especially now that I have a little one coming up in age. I want to be able to be able to experience that with him and let him have something cool to watch versus this like slashers and stuff that are maybe not his appropriate level yet.
Then I think, sound and music. I mean, it was on point for me. I didn't have the same nostalgia attachment to some of the music that I'm sure you did, but all of it worked for you too?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest part obviously is going to be the opening, and then the carnival sounds were appropriate, and they did a really good job with the ominous. So, like, there was nothing like crazy sticking out other than those things, but I think they did a good job, and the sound effects and everything were on par. Like, they really took their time and thought about every aspect of this and put a lot of care and love. And like you said, like, it had to be somebody who really appreciated the show and really wanted to be able to bring the love to the next generation, because that's exactly what happened with this. I thought I was going to be one of those haters because I like to hate, but I loved it so much. I was so happy, like, just to experience it.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to cover our review of the 2019 reboot of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that was done through Nickelodeon, right?
It was Nickelodeon, yeah.
Okay. So I can't remember how I watched. I watched it on Amazon.
Probably.
Yeah. I did buy it. I did end up having to buy it. The first episode's available for free on YouTube. So go on YouTube and watch the first episode. If you like that enough, just go spend the $6.99 to get it on Amazon. You
Yeah, all
get
three
all
episodes.
3 episodes. You get to hang on to them, or is that just a rental? It doesn't matter. Nonetheless,
Either way.
$7 to watch the entire thing with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much are you going to spend to go to a movie? And the movie's not going to be as long as all 3 episodes because they're 45 minutes a piece, were they? Or
Yeah,
were
they
an
were
hour?
longer.
I think they were an hour.
Yeah, they were longer. It was
Longer than the half hour the old one was, right? Or was the
Right.
old one 40 minutes?
No, the old one was 30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is definitely, I think they're an hour each. So yeah, I mean, it's substantial, it's bang for your buck, and it's quality family programming within the horror genre. So I highly recommend it. Marcia appears to as well. So thanks very much for watching, you guys. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Ding that notification bell to make sure you don't miss episodes or live streams going forward or anything like that. But thanks very much. Oh, while you're down there, click the link in the description box to our Patreon. If you want to become a patron, you can request movies and stuff like that for us to review. You can puppeteer us a little bit. But thank you guys very much once again. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Marsh Parker.
And remember, stay scared.